Hi, welcome back to probably the last but one video. So really I just wanted to show you now how we can perform some activities from the ingestion monitoring software. So just to quickly summarize what we've got or what we've performed. So we installed the software and automatically discovered the connectors, so the components in top on blue. We then went through and configured the framework or frameworks and the metastore process. We've added those in. We then moved on and configured the content engines, and then lastly configured visibility for all the control point services. When we added the services, you may have realized or may have noted that we actually started to monitor the amount of processing capacity each of these components is actually using. So obviously our system is doing nothing at the moment, so it's all pretty low. But we've now added that. As soon as we add the services, we start monitoring the processing capability, or how much CPU is being consumed. So we scroll across to the right hand side. Services are defined. I've defined the shutdown and also the startup order. We've got this button for silent execution. If we unselect that and we start a shutdown or a startup, then every single process that is either shut down or started up, we will have a confirmation message appear on the screen. So I'm going to leave it in silent mode, so we would just execute execute and shut down the entire control point environment, and then finally get one confirmation message at the end. So to perform a shutdown, and you probably will notice that the shutdown button is enabled, startup is disabled because everything's running. So let's click the button. We get a message, confirmation message, do you really want to shut down the idle components? We go to yes. We then do some initial pre-checks just to make sure there aren't any jobs which are processing or queued to be processed. So if there are, then you won't be able to perform a shutdown from the application. You can only perform a shutdown operation when there are no tasks or nothing being queued to write to the database. So in our case, there isn't, so we go OK. And now the shutdown sequence will be started. The individual components will be shut down in the order defined for the shutdown sequence. Obviously, the visual representation, the green buttons are now changing to red as the individual services enter a stopped state. So we'll watch this go through to completion. And finally, when all the services have been shut down, we're going to a final confirmation message come out onto the screen, which we will accept. At that stage, all the monitoring would have gone into a hibernated state, into a pause state. We'll then perform a startup to restore the system back to an operational state. Right, so the final process has been shut down. We've got a message that says control point shutdown complete. Okay, all red. You notice the buttons are now switched. We can't perform a shutdown operation. So I'm now going to start the system up, hit the startup button, and then we should see the status of these components change. As I mentioned before, probably the most important one to start up first is the idle or the control point license server, because all the idle components will issue a license request from that component. So we just watch the status change, and then we get a final confirmation message telling us that the system has been restored or restarted. You'll also begin to see the scan intervals restart as we start to monitor the processes that have been restored. Right, so the final process has been restarted. You may have noticed that the control point license service, although it's still red, hasn't fully come back online because it's actually, although the service is running, it's extracting information from the SQL database. So that will actually come back online any minute, and it's just gone back to green. So we now started monitoring, and our system has been shut down and restored to operational service. So I'm going to finish this video here just in terms of time, and I'll do another video which shows you, or I'll show you running some ingestions and how you can monitor throughput going through our control point environment. So thank you.